What's good, guys? It's Cuppa, back with another 5 days of stories for y'all. I'm gonna be starting this week off with an absolute banger. The time the school shooter kid threatened me at 3 a.m. I'll admit to you guys, I wasn't actually entirely awake for this conversation. It was really early and I was sleepy. I'd actually fallen asleep for the night about 2 hours earlier. It was a school night in my senior year, and I needed to get all the sleep I could for class. This was back when Corona was starting to die down, so I was just getting used to going to school again. After about half a year of staying up until 5 and sleeping through most of my online classes, I'm telling y'all I was struggling to get back to sleeping at a relatively normal time. On one of the few days I'd managed to crash at a relatively good time though, this absolute dingus wakes me up by calling me at 3 in the morning. He didn't have my number or my Instagram or anything like that, but he did share a single Discord server with me, which did allow him to call me. I didn't feel like dealing with it, so I just let him keep calling while I went to go get some water before I went back to sleep. I took my jug to go get it filled, and I spent like 5 minutes in the kitchen doing so. When I came back, my phone was still ringing. When I picked it up, I was absolutely pissed, and I'm still exhausted. Like, if one of my friends called me at 3 a.m., I'd be understanding. A bit annoyed since it's early in the morning, obviously, but they're my friends, I can spare them a bit of sleepiness. This is a dude I had no taste for in the slightest. The only reason I was picking up was so that I could see if it was anything important, or whether I should just block him and call it a night. The dude was calling about his ex-girlfriend. Y'all remember the girl who he threatened to shoot up the school for after she broke up with him? That girl. What I didn't know then was that after they broke up, and after he did that whole thing, they ended up getting back together. I don't know why she did that. Like, my money's on her wanting to fix him, or feeling bad, or being guilt-tripped or something. Anyway, he started off with these weird-ass questions dancing around the topic. For the record, that's one of the best ways to piss me off. Dancing around why you hit me up. It just made the fact that he'd hit me up at all so much worse. He asked about how she was, whether she'd been acting any different. Honestly, my friend was acting pretty much the same, and I told him that. And his reaction did amuse me like crazy. The shooter boy asked me whether I was sure and whether there was any difference at all. I repeated my answer that she'd been fine, that nothing was wrong. Then he went all quiet like he didn't know what to say. Then this dude asked me for a third time whether I was sure and asked me to ask her if she was alright. Bro was just that desperate for any sort of sign that her breaking up with him had affected him that he couldn't accept that there was no sign that it had. I did lose my temper a bit. I snapped at him to get to the point, to tell me what he wanted. He told me to tell his ex that he was sorry and that he wanted my help getting back in contact with her. He said that she wasn't doing okay since he'd hurt her and that he needed to help her feel better since it was his fault. This was back when I thought that they'd broken up once and that was it. A bit after the whole school shooting incident, I did find out the reason why they broke up the first time. He'd ended up cheating on her. Now, I don't have much of respect for cheaters in general. Like, if you're not getting what you want from a relationship, it'd be best to break up rather than making your partner stay with you while you're fooling around with others. I don't remember the exact details of how he cheated, but I remember a large part of it was that he was genuinely flirting with people, trying to get other people's numbers and shit. And he tried to make it seem like him going to other people for that kind of thing was her fault, that he wasn't happy enough in the relationship and that she should make him happier. She wasn't in for that, and she just talked to him about it and decided to take a break. Now, I'm gonna be a buck with y'all. I do not believe in breaks. Comment if you think I'm wrong, but in all my time, I've never seen a break work out. Whether it's in my own relationships or people I've known, they always end up in the same thing. This one wasn't any different. They called a relationship. More accurately, she called it, and he refused to accept it, which had ended up in that whole incident with him threatening to shoot up the school. But yeah, after hurting her like the last time, I wasn't about to set him to meet her again. Me and her weren't close by any means, but that'd be so nasty of me to force her to meet him. Yet he didn't seem to understand that or the answer no, so he just kept asking and asking for me to do it. I eventually just lost my patience and started calling him a creep. He started doing this voice, like, I do it for y'all so you could know what I'm talking about, but I can't do it without laughing. The best way I can describe it is that his voice dropped a bit and he started acting like he was gonna hurt me if I didn't shut it. Now, I'll be honest, maybe I would have been a bit scared if he was much larger than me, but he was a short ass kid who was super out of shape. He looked like one of those Reddit TikTok kids, to be honest. So yeah, fat chance I was gonna take any of what he was saying serious. He started blabbering about me slandering him and that he could sue me for doing so. I told him just send his lawyers then, and that he started acting even harder, saying that I should watch it and respect him and that he was going to. A few more implied threats from his end, and I ended up cutting the call and turning my Discord in silent before going back to sleep. In the morning, this dude left me like 4 missed calls and a final message telling me to watch out. Now, to this day, I still haven't heard from his lawyers. The next day, I went over to his girlfriend and chatted with her during lunch. That's when I ended up finding out that they did end up getting back together. She did act a bit scared that he was doing that, since apparently he'd been hitting up tons of other people that knew her as well, trying to get them to get her to meet him again. Luckily, none of them said yes, and he still wasn't supposed to come onto campus. But yeah, that's the end of my story of how I got threatened at 3 a.m. by a school shooter. If you like this video, please do show it through giving it a like and a comment. Let's see if we can get this video up to 5 likes. Low as hell, but we're still growing. If you want to hear more stories, make sure to subscribe and press that notification bell. I've got new stories for y'all every single day on weekdays. I love you guys for watching and hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see y'all in the next vid. Peace.